All right, we just had to start over because we totally ruined that last one. But you'll never see it.
We speak for yourself.
He was waxing eloquent about wax beans. I mean, really. All right, so we're going to talk about things, actual things.
Why do I work with you?
It's got to be the pay.
Read the thing.
It's paid so much. It's
If I'm lucky, I might get a pizza after we're done filming this one.
or maybe a hamburger.
But
I don't think there are any pizzas left.
yeah, there's one.
Oh, I thought you ate it yesterday.
Nope.
All right. Well, anyway, so we are continuing to talk about prayer, and we are talking about prayer things, about adjusting the camera. At least I adjusted it.
I'm just trying to cross my legs here.
Well, don't kick the tape.
Well, it was an accident. Read the thing.
All right. So we've we've been looking at prayer, and we want to talk today about our dependence on God for our daily needs in a physical sense. I know we've talked about before that the focus of prayer is not physical. That's not to be the be all end all of what our prayer's about. But we are encouraged to talk to God about prayer. Talk to God in prayer about physical needs.
Yeah.
So
And
we don't want to neglect that.
we would like to remind you that God is the only one that can offer us true spiritual protection. Do we need to pause?
No.
Okay. God is the only one that can offer you true spiritual protection, but He is there for us with physical things as well. And
Yeah.
that's more the side that we want to look
Right.
at today.
And so we want to start in the sample prayer that Jesus gave to tell his disciples how to pray. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 11, one of the things he includes in there is, give us this day our daily bread. Now, most of us really have lived in a time and in a country for most of our lives where that wasn't really an issue. Now, I know there are children that are hungry, and maybe you have been hungry at some point in your life.
I'm
But for
hungry. In
well,
case we
work and you
haven't
can eat.
mentioned, my pay for this job isn't great.
It's food.
Can
It's
some
great food.
if you're watching this, please start me a GoFundMe page so I can eat more.
He does not need to eat more.
I'm a skinny boy. I need weight.
He eats more than I do, but he still stays skinny. I don't know how that works. Anyway, so each day we need to depend on God. And we sometimes we've got food in the freezer or food in the pantry, and so we're not really thinking day to day.
Yeah.
But we really do need to understand that we are dependent on God for our daily physical needs. Every breath we take, every beat of our heart.
I thought you were gonna start singing Police.
It was tempting.
I know.
It is all dependent on God.
And
We
for
couldn't do any
some
of
of
it
us,
better.
that's a little bit more obvious than others. Dad here is a preacher. His job literally is dependent on God's existence.
Well, yes.
Yeah, if God doesn't exist, then there's no point in having a preacher or religion or any of that. So
Do you realize how many people have jobs about things that don't exist? Anyway, but that's
anyway. Um, but basically, well, okay. If God doesn't exist, then your job would be basically tricking and deceiving people.
Yeah,
And while I know
that
you
would
would
be it.
enjoy that, it's not the
I
point.
do like practical jokes, but
Yeah.
that's a little far. All right. So that is though he does tell us when you're praying, ask God to provide these things for you. And sometimes though, instead of praying and asking God to provide those for us and then trusting that he will do what we've asked, sometimes we kind of go a different direction.
Yeah, Jesus in Matthew chapter 6, verses 25 and following, he says, "That's why I'm telling you to stop worrying about your life, what you'll eat or what you'll drink, or about your body, what you'll wear. Life is more than food, isn't it? And isn't the body more than clothing?" He goes on and he talks about the birds of the sky, about how they do what they want and they don't plan things out. They don't gather up food, but still they have food. He talks about how um, the flowers out in the field have beautiful clothes one day, and then the next day summer comes and they're wilted and drying up, and it's just a day-to-day thing. And he says, why do you worry about these things? Just like the birds and just like the flowers, you shouldn't worry about how much food you have or what you're going to be eating, or like the flowers,
what clothes you're
you
gonna
don't
wear.
have to worry about how you look.
Yeah,
You don't have to
it's
worry about what clothes you're going to wear because you depend on God. Now, if that is the way that God clothes the grass in the field, which is alive today and thrown into an oven tomorrow, won't He clothe you much better, you who have little faith? So don't ever worry by saying, what are we going to eat? Or what are we going to drink? Or what are we going to wear? Because it is the unbelievers who are eager for all those things. Surely your heavenly Father knows that you need all of them. And that's one of the things that we would like to pull from a physical dependence in prayer is pray to God about whatever you like. That has been stressed over and over again is if it is important to you, if it is troubling you, talk to God about it.
And one of the things too, again, it comes back to we talked about in one of the other lessons. God just said, "I know," and
Yeah.
He knows
Yeah.
we need it, but He still wants us to ask for it.
Mhm.
And sometimes parents are that way with their children too. That we know the child needs something, but we want to teach the child to ask. We know they need help with their schoolwork, but we want them to ask instead of just getting frustrated and throwing their book across the room and throwing their pencil down and crying about it. And I can't do this. We want them to just ask for help.
Yep.
And that's one of the lessons that's hard to get kids to learn sometimes. But it's important for us as God's children to learn.
We can ask God for
We
help.
not only can we, but we
We need
need to. We should ask Him. We need to quit trying to do it ourselves
Mhm.
and thinking, oh, well, I'm taking care of myself. And especially in America,
Mhm.
we live in a society that was originally built on the idea of kind of self-sufficiency and striking out on your
Yeah.
own. And people sailed across an ocean to get here, and a lot of those early people did trust in God to get here and find this place. But a lot of us have this attitude, well, I'll just pull myself up by my own bootstraps, and I'll work hard and feed myself and clothe myself and take care of myself. And while it's important for us to work hard and have a good work ethic, we need to realize that's not where those things come from.
Yeah.
If we don't trust God for those things, God can make it so that, and did at times in the past, make it so that no matter how hard you worked, you wouldn't have enough food to eat.
Mhm.
No matter how hard you worked, you wouldn't have clothing to wear.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you worked, you wouldn't have a roof over your head. And so we need to, yes, work hard, be diligent, but at the same time, our trust needs to come that God is providing these things for us.
And hopefully the last thing here, there is an order here. He says, don't worry about the physical things, because God knows that you need those things. But the reason that he says that is because of sort of a chain of importance that he brings up here. But first be concerned about God's kingdom and his righteousness, and then all of these things will be provided for you as well. So never worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble for itself. And when we have prayer, you can bring your fears and your worries to God as long as they're troubling you, and again if they keep coming up. But you need to keep in mind while you're talking to Him that He is listening and He is there for you, and that even when you're not speaking to Him, He is there. And because of that, you do not need to be afraid. You do not need to worry. Just let Him take care of it.
But also that we need to be seeking Him.
Yes.
We need to be concerned about his kingdom,
Mhm.
about his righteousness. If we're out there living in sin for the devil and then thinking God's going to keep providing for us,
Mhm.
that's not the way that
Yep.
works. He's not going to do that.
And Jesus says there, he has the don't worry about this, worry about this, be concerned about this. And that's usually the way the Bible works, is to don't do this, but then replace that with this.
The main thing in life is keeping the main thing the main thing.
Yep.
The main thing in life is keeping your priorities right.
Yep.
Keep
And
them straight.
that can be pretty difficult to do. One other point I had, I thought, on
This is
this
why you should write
ending
these things
subject.
down.
Well,
He trusts his memory. I know better. I don't have a memory to trust. I don't trust my memory. Well, you'll have to think of it in another video, I guess.
Yep. I'll just we'll be recording a video and I'll be like,
I
on the
remember
topic
this other
of
day we were talking.
reliance on God.
But yeah, it's
Where'd this come from?
yeah,
Oh, I pulled it out of my brain.
yeah, memory
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope that this will help encourage you, and we'll look at other areas in our life where we need to be dependent on God and other things. But today we did want to focus on the physical needs of life, survival.
Yep.
We would not be able to survive without Him, so we need Him. So we hope that you will depend on Him today for your daily bread, and hopefully He will feed Xander sometime today too. Yeah. Don't cry.
Such a poor boy.
If nothing else, I have a cracker over there you can have.
Is it salty?
No, it's like the little cheesy one with peanut butter in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.